guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought that I would create a simple everyday look. I'm going to be using the new Sydney Grace Where the Wild Things Grow palette. This is in the deep version, and just want to chat a little bit about what simple everyday products I use. So if you're into that, let's get into it. Okay, so I'll do a quick, complete face of makeup, but I'll just tell you very quickly about the Sydney Grace palette. I did see this on their website, and they actually gifted this to me. I am not on their PR. Actually, the way that it came to me is because I had messaged them inquiring about how to formally apply for their PR program. They're not currently open to add new affiliates or creators to their PR program, but they did offer to send this to me. They have gifted me other palettes in the past, and in general, I always do invest in this brand because it is so good, you guys. I mean, for people that love Sydney Grace, I don't have to tell you this, but if you've never tried Sydney Grace, what I will tell you is their mattes are super velvety. Their shimmers are so creamy and pretty. They're not going to give you like Divina Cosmetics, Unearthly Cosmetics, Adept Cosmetics shimmers, but it's more of a creamy, satiny, shimmery formula that is just so good, so buttery. I don't believe I've ever tried a shade or a palette that I didn't like from them, honestly. They're just so good. They're based out of California. Very sweet sisters that run the company. So thank you, Sydney Grace, for sending this. Okay, so this palette was inspired by the beautiful flowers they say that they see just around the country, maybe California since that's where they're from. The palette retails for $36. I don't have a code, but if I find a code, I will put it down in the description box below so that you can save a little bit of money. I believe that Mel Thompson's code still works, so Puffin's Y15 probably. But there's the color story. It just was so pretty. It's 5 mattes and 4 shimmers in that really yummy, buttery shimmer formula that Sydney Grace is pretty well known for. So I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and swatch it since it's only 9 shades. I usually swatch them beforehand so you don't have to see me do this, but let's just go for it. So the first one is Queen Anne's Lane. Wait, Queen Anne's Lace, not Lane. There's that one there. Look at how pretty. I'm telling you, it's like this shimmery, buttery formula. The next one is Dandelion. Ooh. This undertone is so beautiful. Look at that. Dandelion. The next one is Buttercup. That is intense and beautiful. Look at that. Like that maroon, but like rosy color. Then I have Poppy, which doesn't show on my skin. Now this is in the deep version, so just FYI. It's light. It could be a good transition shade. I have Blazing Star. That one's just a very unique brown as well. Blazing Star. Elegant Candy. There's Elegant Candy. Ooh, that's a pretty shade. Very unique. I don't know that I have another one like that. The last 3 shades, Bee Balm. Very nice, yummy chocolate brown. Truffle brown. Then I have Sunflower in this buttery shimmer formula. Stunning. The last one is Primrose. That feels like a shimmer satin formula that could just swatch forever. And here's a close-up of the swatches. That's beautiful. I'm gonna pull my hair back. Ooh, this headband is very appropriate. So I'll pull my hair back. I want to create an easy look, but now that I'm seeing the color, I want to use this green, but then I want to use these two up here. Just the tone, the rosy tone of these is just so pretty. So we'll create something with all those shades. Okay, I'm going to start with the shade Dandelion. And this 9-pan, good for travel. It's cardboard packaging, and it does come with a pretty nice clear, mirror. A lot more pigmented than I was expecting. Wow, that's really pretty. I wiped off my brush and I'm going to go into the shade Poppy. That shade didn't show up very well on me, or show up much, so I'm going to just diffuse Dandelion with that one. So pretty. Look at that. just effortless, you guys. It's so nice. As I've learned more about eyeshadow formulas, that's one thing I look for. When you use the lighter shade to buff out or blend out a deeper shade, the sign of a good shadow is that it blends it out beautifully. They blend well together, but you can still clearly see where one shade is versus the other without the harsh lines. So can you see that? You see the light brown, the poppy, but then you also see the dandelion. That's so pretty. I'm going to go in with my BK Beauty 207, my little fluffy pencil brush, and I'll go into the shade Buttercup just to deepen out the outer V. You know, this is literally like my everyday style of look, regardless of what colors I'm using. Go in with the same brush as I did last time, no additional product, and I'll just kind of diffuse it up a little bit. Sonia G Flat Definer in Queen Anne's Lace. So pretty. I love that shimmer. And just go in. I'm going to try to do like a little faux cut crease to really brighten up that inner part of the eye. I'll go in with Buttercup again, just to make sure that it is nice and deep. Still not quite as deep as I want in that outer corner, so I'm going to go in with Bee Balm. This is my A504 from the Angie Hot and Flashy and BK Beauty collection. I'm going to, even though it's a fluffy brush, I'm going to go in like if I'm doing an eyeliner line and then just really deepen it up down here. Pretty close to the lash line, but then just slowly buffing it out at the top. That all worked really nicely together. I may or may not do eyeliner, not sure. I'll finish the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did end up using a little bit of eyeliner. The one that I always use is the Surratt or the Sephora. Today I use the Surratt one. Just has a really nice brush tip. So let's go ahead and move into complexion. I want to use something super light and skin-like today, and so I always feel like with Sydney Grace, a natural match for that or pair to that would be Chantecaille. So I'm going to pull out my Chantecaille Future Gel Skin Foundation. I'm in the shade Nude. I'm about halfway done, which just shows you how much I love this foundation because I have a lot of foundation, but it's really great for winter because it's hydrating and it feels like a gel. It honestly does. I know some people are probably squirming because I'm using my fingers, but that's normally what I use with most of my foundations, at least initially. And then I will go in with a brush or with a sponge if I need to just settle everything down. But this, you guys, it feels like skincare. So it looks really nice, really even. Honestly, it just looks just like skin. On days where I don't want to go full glam or don't want to appear like I'm wearing very much makeup at all, I usually will go in with a corrector first and then this concealer that I absolutely have to share with you. The corrector that I like to use is the Charlotte Tilbury corrector. I've used others from the drugstore, but I haven't found one that I really like. The trick with this one, because I didn't like it right away, is I dip my finger in there and then I will let it warm up for about 10 to 20 seconds and then slowly go in under the eye. And I'll kind of sit there for a little while and I'll just melt it with my warmth, the warmth of my finger. And it just sinks into the skin so nicely. And it still looks and feels like skin, but do you see the difference? Huge, huge difference. So that looks really pretty already just with the corrector. If you don't like using your finger, one brush that I really, really like paired with this is the Bare Minerals Max Coverage Concealer Brush. That's what it looks like. And you just dip it into the cream and you just go for it. The shade that I'm in the corrector is 2 Medium. And I will link everything down below, but just wanted to show you. So this concealer is maybe a brand that you haven't heard of before. I actually did a reel a while back on my TikTok, so shameless plug, go follow me there and on Instagram. And it is just so skin-like, you guys. It is beautiful. I'm in the shade Medium. Octoly actually sent this to me. They gifted it to me for review. When I reviewed it and had tried it for a couple weeks, it was so good that I uploaded the reel And then I told my friends about it, and so they sent me 3 shades to see which one would work. I sent one to my sister, a deeper shade, and then I sent the lightest shade to my friend here on Instagram, and all 3 of us just absolutely love it. And it's just one of those brands that I haven't heard too much talked about. It's the Luxury Concealer with hyaluronic acid and collagen, and it's so good. So it's a little thick, and what you do is you just put a little tiny bit on your hand like that. It's a really, really, like, I won't use all that. That's how little you need with this product. It is a thick consistency or thick texture, so I just kind of sit there and warm it up a little bit. There's a very light layer on my ring finger, and I'll just kind of dab it, and then I will go in, and it is so nice. Now, I like full coverage concealers. I like, you know, the thicker concealers. Like, one that comes to mind is the Pat McGrath, of course, or the Dior Forever Skin Correct. Those are really great. But this one is so skin-like. It's not going to give you full coverage, but look at how pretty that looks. I love how that looks. It's going to last all day, and I don't know, like, I do set it, but it's like, the best way to explain it, it's so creamy. I haven't said it yet, but between this Chantecaille Gel Foundation and this concealer, oh my gosh, it's so good, you guys. The skin is so, so thin. It's even, but it just feels like skin with moisturizer on it. It's so good. I set it with either my Pat McGrath Under Eye Powder or this one by Essence. This one's the Brighten Up and Banana. Almost an exact dupe for the Pat McGrath, actually. And yeah, just set it lightly. Ooh, and this one's a new brush from BK Beauty, the 113. She just extended her core line. I do have a video on that if you want to go check it out. I'll link it down below. Such good brushes. This is like my new go-to for setting my under eye. It's like the 108 fluffy a little bit, but it's kind of flat, so you can just use it to set the under eye. I'll use the same banana powder in areas where I would like to brighten a little bit. So you see how much concealer I still have left? I always feel like I get the smallest amount and it's still always too much. So it will last you forever. I don't really remember how much it costs, but I'll link it down below. I definitely don't contour or do anything with cream bronzer or anything when I'm doing an easy face. So I'll take this one. It's the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour bronzer. I'm in the shade 350 medium. I like using a big brush when I'm just trying to be easy and simple and breezy cover girl, because it doesn't, like, it just warms up the face so nicely. Nothing too crazy or formal. We just kind of warm up the perimeters of the face. See how pretty that looks? And I'm not worried about going crazy, being super chiseled or anything. I just kind of go wherever the sun would hit my face. When I want to do an easy face, I also don't do blush and highlight. I'll do a blush that has some highlighting properties. And so the one that I love for that, there's a couple. I have the Melt one in the shade Buzzkill that has kind of a glowy blush like that. But I love this one. This one's from Laura Geller. This is in the shade Sunlit Rose. I saw Rosenbend use it on her Instagram or TikTok, and you know, pretty much everything she says is good, so I like to sometimes put blush on my forehead and my chin to make it more natural. It appears as if some redness is peeking through your skin or your foundation, but yeah, so very nice natural blush, but it has a little bit of luminosity. And I like it. It's so natural. It's pretty light, so if I want a more bold blush, what I do is I go in with a cream blush and then I top it with this one, and it still gives that really beautiful luminosity. See, the skin looks flushed. That's so pretty. I love it. When I want to do a simple look and I don't have a lot of time, I always like to go with my go-tos. So for that, I always use the Dior Powder No Powder. This is in the shade 3N. And I've told you this many times, I think. I've mentioned it a lot. I go in with my Beauty Blender Power Pocket Puff. These two products were just made to work together. And it just gives the face such a natural finish look. It doesn't even look matte, even though it's a powder, because it's like a baked gelée. It just gives it a natural look. And because it's not summer anymore, things are cooling down in Texas. Even with my oily skin, I just don't have to worry too much about setting it with a heavier powder. So this is Perfect. Look at that skin. It looks natural. It looks nice and clean. It just feels so light, almost like I have nothing on. I really, really like all of these products paired together. Now, I did say that I wanted to use this green, and I still really do. So I'm going to go in just on the lower lash line. I haven't done that in a really long time. That kind of used to be like a go-to look for me, where I would do like a neutral eye on the top and then do like a blue or a green down here. But it's been a minute since I've done that. So let's just do it today. Okay, going into Primrose. This is with that mini, this is BK Beauty 210. This is one of the new brushes too. It's like a mini pencil brush, but a little more targeted. And that way we don't get it everywhere. So that makes it really nice. I'm going to go in with another small fluffy, not fluffy, but brush that works really well underneath. This is the Unearthly Cosmetics UC8-4. And I'll go into the lightest brown, what is it, Poppy? So I can diffuse that green a little bit. The line is a little harsh. And just soften it up. So it still kind of gives that little hint of green, just a little peek through, but it's a little diffused. And then for the inside, I think I'm going to go in with Sunflower with that shimmery light green there, that sage color. And I'll just try to be really light about it and go just on the inside of the eye. Dang, this shade is powerful. Okay, I usually default to a nude lip when I'm doing something simple. This is the Haus Labs lip liner in shade In Point. This is before they rebranded, but it's nude. It still works. Even if it's a really light nude, I like to fill my lips in because it allows the lipstick or gloss to last longer, I feel. I'll go in with the Milani NYX. This is in the shade Lustful. This is in like their glossy lip shine formula. It's pretty good. I'm not like crazy about the shade, but I think it'll look pretty with this eye look. It's corally, a little pink. This will be pretty. Let me do my mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the final look. I love the way that it came out. It is neutral. When I say neutral, more earth tones, but we popped a little green in there just to kind of fill my heart because, you know, green eyeshadow and me. That's just, we are a thing. This lip is just kind of subtle, really pretty. I like it. So just very quickly, final thoughts on the palette. I mean, they just don't ever disappoint. I know I say that about a few brands, but Sydney Grace is definitely one of those. Everything worked beautifully. Everything swatched beautifully. I love it. I think it's a perfect everyday look, especially for fall. Let me know what you thought about the products that I used. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. What are your like go-to products or techniques that you like to use every day when you create a simple look? Thank you, Sydney Grace, for sending this palette. I'm really enjoying it and I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!